There are so many things that need to happen for any of this to make sense. And even then, it doesn't make any sense in the first place, because you immediately think of like, okay, right. So let's try to logic through a couple of these things. First of all, Elune. Elune takes over Tyrande body here. I'm sure there's a reason in the campaign that makes sense. It's the moment of like the whole big thing happening. But that's a lot of questions there. Questions that could be answered. Sure, whatever, fine, happy enough. But then, not even the tier of Elune with the Ardenweald sigil, fuck's sake. But how does Elune not know about the Maw? How does she not know about any of that?
Yeah. Elune's stupid. And there's too many plot contrivances recently that have they've just relied on characters being stupid. Right? Like, oh, Sylvanas is stupid. Now, I get there are some things of, she's trying so hard not to become something that she's like blind to it. And I get that is a way for that character to go. And, it's like those people, maybe they have, so there's a rough parental situation and they decide, I'm never going to be like him or never going to be like her. And actually the strive to do that does actually make that person like the person they don't want to be. Like, I do get all of that. But it didn't work that well with Sylvanas in terms of, look, it didn't work that well in terms of the end result. And ultimately, we need to accept reality and deal with it. And here, it's like, it just so much feels like they care about their own crazy ideas for the WoW cosmos and stuff more than they care about respecting the player's investment in the world. It's like they're more interested in these crazy revelations than they are the Night Elves being a cool faction on Azeroth that players care about and identify with. And it's like, sorry, guys, you are not making God of War. You are not making some narrative, action game that lasts 15 hours and has, all of its plot twists and turns. You're making an MMORPG. And that means that, yeah, you're storytellers, but you're also custodians of a world. And in many cases, people are there for the story of that world, which is in many ways their own story and their own experience. So if you're going to do a big prescribed narrative in an MMORPG, you better do it as well as a certain other MMORPG that comes from a country called Japan.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, that is...
And... It's like, we're not trying to do this out of blatant fanboyism. It's just, I know that, like, if they did a Teldrassil in Final Fantasy XIV, and I know that I think Stormblood and stuff, there are, like, wars and real, stuff going on, stuff going down, and I have not played that content, but you have spoken to me emphatically about that content and really hammered home to me that unlike a bunch of the Blizz stuff, in FF, they actually do a way better job of lingering in those moments, of fleshing them out and showing the implications, instead of just, you get your one super effective quest when you're trying to save the people from Teldrassil as it burns, find out, the Night Elves are refugees somewhere, and then it's never touched again or updated. I mean, same goes for the Undead as well.
Yeah, it's insane. Comparing it, like, I don't even want to compare it too hard to FF14 because it is like an adult fighting a child at this point in time. It feels like an adult fighting a toddler in terms of the actual detail that goes through and how actually good it is overall. Because they will spend an expansion dealing with a couple, well, not with a couple, but they'll have an expansion dealing with this place got wrecked. There's refugees. Let's talk about them. Let's discuss all the possible sides of an argument between NPCs over how we should deal with like these refugees and then getting revenge for what happened, all that stuff. There's even personal ones, which I was even reminded of earlier today. I was talking to someone about it, and I was like, oh yeah, I remember that from A Realm Reborn, where there was a really hard-hitting moment when events occurred, and they spent the time to work through it as a player and for all the characters to work through it. And then here, it's like, well, yeah. Oh, man. It's like the one moment they did of Teldrassil, where everything was burning, and you had to get those Night Elves out as Lance player. That felt really strong. That should be the default or close to the default instead of one thing they've done ever. Whereas over in 14, they just kind of do that all the time. Yeah. All the time. Every time something goes wrong, you feel it. There's even a bit in Shadowbringers, I'm not going to spoil anything, but it's literally just there's a character's dialogue and it's not important at all. It doesn't matter. It is literally just, here's a character, things have gone a bit wrong, and they're speaking not speaking like a real person would speak, because in the situation, it is still a game, it is still a media franchise. They are, kind of projecting their feelings out loud But it's this real frustration, this real anger at the state of things. And even that character who was introduced in an expansion, barely spoken to occasionally, and then has a line or has a couple lines. That I remember that more than I remember anything else about this. And this would really, really fucking pisses me off. Elune in particular. Because I don't remember if I did this as soon as I started playing the game, but I started playing the game as a Tauren Druid in and around Burning Crusade's launch. And I remember reading the stories on the wall in the Tauren hut. I think it might be in the Druid Hall about Anshe, about Musha, about the moon, and then going and playing a Night Elf a little bit later. And I remember being just like, I always loved the Night Elf aesthetic. I love that character of Elune. That was the greatest mystery they've set up in World of Warcraft. Who this character is, what they are. They've set this incredible fantasy world with this like soft magic goddess who can help at any point in time. And now they've just made her into a 2-bit piece of shit character.
Yeah, like Elune
In one line, they have undone over like nearly, actually, yeah, we're getting close to 20 years of, and this is just me being personally about it, 20 years of this idea, this mystery, and they just went, there you go, gone.
Yeah.
Bullshit. Fucking, man. I'm really particularly inflamed about Elune. Everything else, like Old Gods, similar enough in a way, but Elune's the one that really ticks me off. Oh, fuck.
Yeah, my response to this is either to whoever is responsible, fuck you for doing this, or, you know what, you're just incompetent, stop writing stories. Or go fucking learn how to write a story, go learn how to do any of this shit, go play a game that does this well, and then bring it back here. Because this is just not how you do it. It's insane. And I really feel like if they didn't have an attitude of, we're World of Warcraft, we have a great story and people always come back, I think like a combo of pretty much the 9.1 storyline being horribly received outside of some nice lines between Thrall and Draka. I hope that gets to be combined with, the stock price dipping, higher ups realizing that there's just issues and problems. Because this is not how you do it.
As Nikki points out, the most narrative designers WoW has ever had. Well, I mean...
Apparently so.
I mean, to use a food analogy, because I'm so good at them, like, I could just go with a simple too many cooks, but it feels like this is the narrative design equivalent of, they have, they've got too many cooks, and the only tool the cooks have is salt. So they just walk in, they're like, well, we've got an empty plate, salt on the plate, more salt, more salt. Here's a mountain of fucking salt. All right, there's your dinner. Enjoy. Have fun. That'll be $9.99 a month, please. Thank you very much. And then you don't even get any content to go alongside your narrative. You get your narrative. And there's another point I want to bring up about this, because this is 1 week of content. This is 1 week. Mm-hmm. You know what was unleashed last week upon players? I mean, obviously we know because we follow PTR and we went ahead of things. What happened last week for players was the reveal that the Dreadlords have been masterminding everything since the Legion.
Yeah.
So this is a 1-2 punch of everything you know is bullshit, and also everything in the future that you cared about is also bullshit. Have a nice day. Thank you. Look forward to the next week of content and the final cinematic. What lies ahead? I don't even want to fucking know.
It's like this is being purposefully written for us to react to and speculate on what happens next. It's as if they realized in like early Legion when, say like the likes of us were making our, lore conspiracy videos. It's as if they thought that, oh, wow, look, it's resonating with people. And then they decided to just construct the entire storytelling of World of Warcraft around select, large, big reveals. And, yeah, wow. What are we like in the old up thumbs to down thumbs?
Let's hit it up again and see.
Yeah, not much change, but
655 to 1. 300 extra on that, like. That's pretty. That is, that grew 6 times the rate. I don't think people are very happy about this. And you know what the best part is? This is only one of the small things people don't have to be happy with Blizzard about this week.
Yeah. I guess the final thing I'd say in story is just they have so many more misses than Well, there's swing and a miss almost every time.
Yeah, it's like you miss every shot you don't take, but if you take 100 shots and miss 99 shots, maybe you should fucking learn to aim.
Yeah, or maybe, decide that baseball's not your game.
Yeah. Yeah. No, it's like, I wish I didn't have to be so vitriolic in how I come across or how I sound, but I'm genuinely fired up because I don't know. It's the thing where, I don't even know how to be eloquent about it. I feel like I could do better. And I've never written any narrative in my life. I feel like I could do better because the mistakes are just so obvious, and the mistakes are just so obvious ahead of time. Where, like imagine if, I don't know when this story was drafted. However, like was this drafted a year ago? Was this drafted 6 months ago? Was it drafted 4 months ago? I don't know when it was drafted, but imagine if they actually said, imagine you got an email being like, hey, hello, content creator, would you give us your opinion on how this story beat would go? Like, how would you respond if you got that email? Say, I don't know, say March, April
April of this year.
Yeah, and they give you this particular story beat. So like Dreadlord stuff, you don't know how the raid ends, but you know this.
Like, no, don't do it. I would actually say no, don't do it. Pull that week of content and don't put it in the game. It might feel a bit weird for players for Toronto to be, sitting down for a whole patch like Bane seems to be, but at least it wouldn't actively damage 20 years of lore.
Yeah, I mean, that's the thing. You would literally improve this by doing nothing.
Yeah.
If you just put Tyrande beside Bane and Bolvar and Talia and Kalia and all the other characters who are sitting in Orbos, just twiddling their thumbs, sitting going, when do I get my complimentary 3 lines of dialogue sometime in a patch? And then we wonder how, why people don't like our characters anymore.
And like the way they've constructed this, like there's no satisfying conclusion to any of this.
Oh, it is just
the plot has moved forward and that Ardenweald has a sigil, but hey, cliffhanger, what's Elune gonna do? Woo!
Oh, please do not get me started on the sigils, because all the memes aside about, oh no, he's got the sigils, bro, what are we gonna do about it? They can just craft new sigils. Please, someone tell me what a sigil does, or what a sigil is. I mean, for all the interesting stuff, a Tear of Elune's a sigil. Does that mean the Pillars of Creation were the sigils of our reality? Who knows? But it's just sigil. What's it do?
Yeah.
What's it do? Why did you spend, how much of it was that cinematic, was it? It was actually, let's see, it was like, in runtime, like, was that 159 total? Yeah. So there's like 40 seconds of that cinematic is just, they're recrafting a sigil out of the Tear of Elune. And just like, we don't know what that is. Tell us, please.
We don't know. Yeah, we don't know what it means. What does it do? What is it?
And here's another thing.
What is a sigil?
So there's a slight chance that the sigil does actually tell us, say if in the quest dialogue for this campaign, it actually does say, okay, here's what a sigil is, just so you know. That's of no help to us in Europe, where we don't have the fucking content. We've got the spoiler posted on YouTube, but we don't have the context.
Yeah.
So even if you do explain, you can't explain it after the fact for most people.
The context doesn't help in this case either.
Yeah, it absolutely does. It's just 40 seconds of, we've got the sigil. We've got the sigil, everyone. We've got the sigils back. Let's go. We've got 2 of them. We can get all of them. And then what do? Throw the sigils like fucking snowball fight with Zaval throwing the sigils?
Yeah, it's like patch 9.2, Infinity Gauntlet versus Infinity Gauntlet. Which one will win?
Yeah, man. I don't know. I feel like they are smoking something extremely strong at the office every day, or something like that. Maybe they're drinking something. I don't know what it is, but whatever it is, I'd love to have it for a couple of seconds, because the shit I would do if I were so full of myself that I thought this was reasonable. Oh.
Honestly, I mean, if I could get like high enough to find this enjoyable of whatever it is, I mean, I want that. I want that. That seems like great shit to be on.
Absolutely. Vile.
And it's like weird because it's like, yeah, also, it could be Sylvanas is going to burn it down anyway. But I mean, in which case, why they use the Crossroads music? A bit of a there.
Yeah.
Great pickup, Tally. I mean, so there's that, but then there's also that, like, it's just not satisfying. Like, there's no real way where this is satisfying. It's like, it all just still just boils down to, all that you cared about the Night Elves is just a fucking resource. It's just a number. It's just a number, and either goes to Ardenweald or the Maw. But I mean, at that stage, it's like, who cares? You're literally boiling characters people cared about into a number and a resource. It's like, this is such devoid of emotion storytelling. I mean, yeah, sure, you get your emotion in because Blizzard are good at cinematics, and but it's like, it's only focusing in their core cast of characters, and it's like they've forgotten that, like, it's a world that's supposed to feel like it's inhabited with people.
Yeah. Yeah, but there's no characters, there's no dialogue that we ever get in any satisfying way. It's just, here's all your storytelling through cinematics. Because all the character dialogue, because I do read a significant amount of the quest dialogue, because I do enjoy it. There are parts of the expansion, like, there are a couple of, well, I actually think the majority of the quests are pretty bad. There are a couple where I'm like, okay, I see what you're doing here. I see what you're trying to do. If you had better tools, you could implement this in a way that would be significantly more enjoyable. I would love to see that version, because what's here is pretty okay. But then you go through any of these, like the campaign quests, and I'm just like, what am I doing here? What am I doing here? I don't really know what I'm doing here. And not like I don't literally know, like I literally know, like the one with Thrall and Draka from last week is you go and do the thing. All right. I've gone and pushed back the Jailer's minions up around the Sanctum of Domination. Sweet, great. But why am I doing any of this? Why am I going into the Sanctum of Domination? To stop the Jailer, but I don't.
Yeah, they've just not put the time into setting any of this stuff up.
Yeah.
It's I guess it's that sort of thing, like, whenever you get a franchise movie that is so concerned with setting up sequels and dropping, like, little bits here and there, that it forgets to, do its actual story justice and characters. It's like that's happening, and that's so depressing. And, like, Elune was something a lot of us were quite excited about.
I like...
And it's like, in this, it's just like, yeah, cool, so Elune is... stupid, and it's all just a bit inconsequential and weird, and I guess we're supposed to care about this fucking sisterly relationship between these two characters that basically we, like, don't know, haven't spent time with.
Yeah, I mean, you've got better sisters that we do know and we do care about, and they are in this expansion a little bit, but they're only there a little bit, and that's Sarah and Strasza. I was going to call her Alexandra. What the hell's wrong with my brain? Oh man,
yeah. Most of what I can say is don't touch Arthas.
Oh please,
right.
Please, any Arthas Anduin parallels you have planned,
stop them,
cancel them.
Actually take the finished MP4 and hit the delete key.
Yeah, actually, send us a copy. We won't share it. Send us a copy, then delete it. We'll have the only copy just so we can wait until July 12th next year and throw it on the bonfire. Though.
Yeah, actually make us just wake up and it turns out N'Zot's won.
Oh, please.
And Shadowlands was just a big fever dream that was actually like, I don't know, up inside Yogg-Saron's ass or something.
I'd love that. It's like, yeah, just yo, it's awake. You're, oh man, you can imagine it now, almost like the Skyrim meme. It's like, Tyrion's like, wake up, yo, I don't know why you use Tyrion Toxicus now. It's like, yo, dude, are you okay? We just killed the Lich King. And you passed out. You've been out for a couple of days. You good? You good, bro? You good? It's like, yeah, Tyrion, don't know why you're speaking like a meme from 12 years from now, but sweet. Sweet, yeah, we're good. Where are we going next? Don't know, man. Heard some rumors about Deathwing, but we stopped that ahead of time. Like,
yeah.
Woo. Yep.
Ooh, okay, let's move on to something else.
Yeah.
Screw that.
Yeah, that's a...
unsatisfying, boring bullshit.
Yeah, completely unset up. I can see a world where this would be satisfying, but they need to put at least 5,000 more hours of content into the game that explains every single aspect and has all the characters involved be something.
Yeah.
I mean, who even knows who the Winter Queen is? Doesn't even have a name. It's called the Winter Queen.
Just not spend time with her.
It's not her name. That's the Winter. Even Zoval has a name.
Yeah.
He's Zoval the Jailer.
No, it's more, they just make her mysterious, man. Just make her mysterious and have a, ooh, I'm deep and I talk slowly. And you don't need to make her a character. Just do it like that. It's fine. We'll flesh her character out in Grimoire of the Shadowlands. Easy, done.
Fantastic. Love Grimoire of the Shadowlands. Actually, it's nice, but just Put it in the game.
Yeah.
Put it in the game. Do that with everything
I
else as
would.
well. Just put the whole thing in the game. Put all of the lore into the game and into the quests and into the content. Then have us do it and have it be exciting. Have it be fun content that we enjoy playing instead of do for the sake of player power. Skip all the dialogue because we haven't enjoyed it in 10 years.
Yeah.
And, you know, actually stop living this fucking farce of a video game you've created.
This is
Maybe a little bit unfair in terms of how
still.
how what do you call it? How do I put this? How amped up I am with the head of this, but still, like, fuck me. Oh man, brutal. Where do we go next then? Does I mean there's nowhere good to go, is there?
No.
No.